Hello everyone, me and my group are going to be presenting who gets to be visible and on whose terms, covering week 3, 6, and 8. This is our table of content. Before going into the details, I'm going to be briefly introducing the main themes covered in these weeks. So week 3 focuses on self-presentation and visibility, exploring how people manage the way they are perceived, especially on social media. Sociologist Irving Goffman describes social interaction as a performance where individuals present different versions of themselves depending on their audience. Week 6 examines media narratives and representation, showing how media influences public understanding of identity, migration, and belonging. Scholars like Stuart Hall and Benedict Anderson explain how identities and communities are shaped through shared media narratives. Week 8 explores global media and unequal voices, focusing on how some perspectives receive more visibility than others, as discussed by Edward Said and Arjun Apiduri.
In digital media today, people are no longer just audiences who view images. With social media, individuals also create and share their own images, which shifts media culture from observing images to participating in visibility. When people post photos or videos online, they become both the creator of the image and the subject within it. Because of this, individuals often think carefully about how they appear and how others might perceive their posts. This process is known as self-presentation, which refers to how people manage the way they're seen by others. On social media, this involves selecting, editing, and curating content rather than simply sharing something spontaneously. Users are also aware of an imagined audience. Even before posting, people often anticipate how others might respond. This awareness influences what they choose to share, how they present themselves, and what they decide to leave out. The concept of self-presentation is closely connected to the work of Irving Goffman. Goffman argued that everyday social interactions work like a performance where individuals adjust their behavior depending on the situation and the audience they're interacting with. Importantly, he did not see performance as being fake or deceptive. Instead, he believed it reflects social awareness and the ability to manage impressions. People shape how others see them through their appearance, behavior, and expressions. Although Goffman developed this theory long before social media existed, his ideas help us understand how digital platforms function today.
This slide, I will talk about media narratives and belonging. Media plays an important role in shaping how people understand people moving to another country. It does not only report events, but also influence how audience think and feel about them through stories, image, and languages. Media sometimes creates a separation between us and them. When these ideas are repeated many times, people may start to believe them because of this. Media narratives influence who society sees as belonging and who is seen as an outsider. Second slide, I will talk about media representation and identity. Media stories about people moving from one country to another are also about how they are represented. Sometimes media shows them in limited ways, such as threat, victims, or a burden on society. These representation can influence how audience think about them. Scholars also discuss this idea. Anderson described nations as image community, and Stuart Hall explained that identity is shaped through representation. This shows that media plays an important role in shaping identity and belonging.
So we've heard how we perform identity online and how the media decides who belongs. Now let's zoom out to the global level. Although global media is described as open and borderless, circulation alone does not create equality. The media amplifies some voices while systematically silencing others, with disasters in the global south often receiving brief coverage compared to extended coverage in the west. As media travels, it becomes shortened, simplified, and stripped of context, with translation decisions shaping what is valued. This process allows some cultures to be framed as universal and others as marginal, eventually reducing places to be portable, decontextualized images. As a result, global media shapes who is heard and who remains invisible. Edward Said revealed how media representation can freeze complex histories into consumable images, turning cultures into objects and not communities. Power operates not only by silencing voices, but also by framing them to fit existing narratives before they are heard. Arjun Appadure further argues that global media flows remain uneven, with some voices moving freely and others being ignored. And that makes the ideal connected world as we know it actually masking persistent global inequalities in visibility and presentation. In summary, performance, belonging, and being heard are deeply connected. Self presentation happens within narratives of belonging that circulate unequally worldwide. At each level, power shapes visibility, and recognizing this empowers us to challenge exclusion and create impartial spaces.
identities and social groups are understood. People actively manage how they present themselves online, while media narratives influence ideas of belonging and representation. At the same time, global media systems do not give equal visibility to all voices. Understanding these dynamics encourages audiences to think more critically about the media they consume and the message they receive. Thank you.